Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Chicago from Plain Tables Camp in Philly. This is some information on, U.S., the whore, Babylon, America. They're trying to having this war with Russia, through Ukraine, just like they're having a war with Syria through. Or war with Iran through Syria, or war with Syria through the different CIA and mercenary soldiers on the ground in Syria. Right, so the U.S. is indirectly at war with these countries. It says Canada to return turbines for Russian gas. Ottawa shrugs off Ukrainian objections to say it will send Nord Stream 1 components back to Gazprom. This was a little while ago. I think a month or two ago. They had this, and Ukraine was saying, "Oh, don't send it back." Well, the pump is to feed Europe. It's counterproductive for Europe, because Europe gets cold. Germany, Britain, those countries in Europe, they get cold, so this winter, and to power their industries, you need gas, natural gas, and oil. So they're sending it back. And so they're not. What the scripture says: "If Satan cast out Satan, how can his kingdom stand?" I don't have it. You can pull it up yourself. Let's type that in. Satan cast out Satan. And you'll find that. All right, what else we got? Let me bring the scripture out. Now, I've said this before, something's going to happen that, the European powers, the European countries, are going to turn against the whore. And it's going to fulfill this prophecy here. It's Obadiah 1:7. All the men of that confederacy have brought thee even to the borders. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. All right. So even though Ukraine, I don't know if the U.S. is protesting this return to Nord Stream. Let's see something. I don't think so. I haven't heard it. If there was, if you know, then you just acknowledge it. I think the Ukraine was just the only ones that were protesting this return of this pump for Nord Stream, which is going to feed Europe essentially. So, and I believe this belongs to Germany, if I'm not mistaken. It says Ukraine and Germany have accused Russia of holding the EU hostage with gas deliveries. That's something that you got to think about. What's it for Nord Stream 2? That this could cause a crisis this winter if there is not enough gas and oil to run the industry in Europe. All right. And it's very well could lead to this. Say, you know what? They start breaking agreements and contracts, and then the war break out, and then, simultaneously the implant is implemented, That could be one scenario. It's oilprice.com. There's some propaganda pages on here too, articles, but we just want some numbers. That's all. From here, Belgian Prime Minister: next 5 to 10 winters will be difficult as energy crisis persist. This is by Zero Hedge. This is from Zero Hedge. So oilprices.com. Oilprice.com didn't produce this. They copied it from Zero Hedge. August 24th, 2022. All right. Europe historic energy crisis exacerbated by Russia's war and is continuing to take toll on the region's economy. Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo is warning that the next 5 to 10 winters will be difficult as a result of ongoing crisis. So they're going to have to start supplementing their, I guess they don't have to, start supplementing their energy bills. Because, really probably because of America. Because of the whore. Alright? I don't give a fuck about Ukraine telling them what the hell to do. Alright? They got together, European Union got together and imposed a Russian reduction, which is a Russian ban on oil and gas. So they're going to suffer because of that. So I guess they want to suffer. That's how fucking incompetent these people are. Alright, where we at? The Prime Minister's comment suggests replacing Russian natural gas imports could take years, exerting further economic doom on the region's economy in the form of energy hyperinflation. Europe faces a historic crisis exacerbated by Russia's war in Ukraine. The continent heavily relies on Russia for its energy needs, importing about 40% of natural gas. It says the European natural gas prices soared to a record high of 277 euros per megawatt hour. Well, we don't know what that means. Get something clearer. Let's read this real quick. I'll get some clearer numbers on that. Revelation 17:16. Well, this right here tells you that the allies of the whore, the reason why Europe is suffering, because, it's America's influence. All right? And those Europeans acting like they give a fuck about Ukraine. They don't care. They're more worried about their own industries in their own countries. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So that's what's going to be the end result of all American sins or evils toward their own allies. It's Matthew 24, in 7th verse. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, his disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us what shall these things be, and what sign, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world. All right, go down to 7 verses. The point I want to make: for nation shall rise against nation. You got Russia and Ukraine right now, and that's a fight being fought by really the United States against Russia. All right, by proxy, Ukraine. For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. What famine on right now? We got oil and gas greatly reduced. Oh yeah, famines. Let's see what it say. Lumos. Scarcity of harvest. Famine. Scarcity. Darth. Through the idea of destitution. What? Oil and gas. Poverty so extreme that one lacks the means to provide for oneself. And that's what's happening in Europe. The prices are so high that people are taking a large chunk of what they normally would use for other things. Maybe disposable income, maybe food, maybe cell phone bill, internet, gas, gasoline at the pump. All right. These are going to be the signs that Yahushua is coming. All right. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So we know the end is not yet. All right. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. Another place it says, but the end is not by and by. I believe probably it says in Luke or John, if I'm not mistaken. All right. It says here in Luke 21:9, it says, but when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Yeah, so we're not supposed to fear. And Yahushua gave us faith that we can do anything. All right, any demon we can break away from, or it greatly mitigate. All right, until we deliver. All right, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. All right. Now, I put how much in Yahoo Finance, how much is power in Europe. It's now equal to $1,000 a barrel. The European Union, they use the EU, they use the euro. And according to Bloomberg, it is $1,000. German electricity price surpasses $1,000 per barrel of oil. That's for their electricity. So they are burning oil or coal to make their electricity, apparently. Their electric grid must, or natural gas, must depend on petroleum. I guess they don't have a lot of nuclear power plants. There you got it. So you see the chart here. We got 2021. It spiked up in December. And the war broke out in February 2022. So it's about right here. So August, over $1,000 a barrel. European power prices have soared so much that they are now equal to more than $1,000 a barrel of oil. So they're using the equivalent there, so you can kind of gauge what they're paying. As gas crunch is the main driver, with Russian supply cuts pushing the fuel's price to about 13 times its seasonal norm. 13 times. So if I divide 1,000 divided by 10, that would be $100. So kind of do that math. All right, if it's 13 times more, if I got $100 on 2 times more, that would be what, $200, right? So 13 times more. Oh man, imagine if we had to pay that. My electric bill last month was $50. Before that was I think $80. US, American. So let's see, check my bill now, see what it says. 13 times, god damn. Seasonal norm. Sign in. It's probably already paid it, so it might not show up. It's Pico, Pennsylvania. Let's see, bill. Your bill could not be retrieved at this time. Thought I saw $44. $44.64 was my last bill in American dollars. All right, I used 225 kilowatt hours at $44.64. All right, so do that math. It's equivalent to 1,000 per barrel oil, and it's 13 times higher than a seasonal norm. Any more information we can get? Nope. That's all. So they pilfered from their subscription to Bloomberg magazine. That's what they do. They just subscribe and then copy the shit from their other newspaper or magazine. All right, so I'll leave it there. I think I made my point. Oil and gas, electricity is high in Europe, and this is citing Germany. All right, so hope you're edified. Shalom to the next lesson.